You are able to stand and sing with us. Surely, surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Good morning, friends at Unity on the River. Let's take this moment to go into prayer. Loving Spirit, we come together on this day, united in love, united in joy, feeling the birth of that Christ in us at a cellular level, eagerly anticipating the year that is ahead. We come together with open minds and open hearts, releasing that which no longer serves us so that we may be prepared, mind, body, and spirit, for the journey ahead in the new year. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
So it's time to celebrate. Here we go. There is a power inside of your brother, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there's a light inside of your brother, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. Just thought I'd tell you there is a love inside of your heart, and I don't know if you know there's a love that is so strong. Just thought I'd tell you there is a strength inside of your soul, and I don't know if you know there's a strength inside of your soul. Just thought I'd tell you there is a power inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a power inside of us all, and it's time to celebrate, 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 celebrate. There is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. Just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if we know there's a light that is so bright, and it's time to celebrate, 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 celebrate. Join us. Celebrate, 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 celebrate. Thank you, Sherry. I don't know if you've noticed, but we have Mike in the way back there, and he's playing this gorgeous bass. You want to lift it up? It's handmade special 6-string bass. Beautiful.
And he's playing it very well.
Very well.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Do I have volume?
He just called you dude.
Dude.
Get ready, guys.
Let's get the groove going here. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to this present moment, here to a new beginning, here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Are you ready? Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Well, here I go, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer to my sacred source. Well, get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Oh, get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Well, good morning, Unity on the River. As you can see, we're in our cuddly at church cozies, big overstuffed Overstuffed. That's the word. I'm so happy to be with you all today. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And then, centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. And that is our vision and mission statement. And we're so proud that we are part of a world awakening on this day and every day. So we want to welcome new people, but if there's anyone on stream that's new, let's say hi to the streamers and welcome to anyone who's celebrating with us for this first time. And unity is a wonderful part of our lives, and we hope that if you're new on stream, you'll check out our website. There's a lot of classes and good things going on. So I think with that said and done, we're going to welcome each other and say namaste, and just please bow to each other and spread the love through our eyes. That's what we'll do. So I came across this beautiful little song. It's called Come All You Thirsty, and it's by a group called Common Hymnal, and they're a bunch of young people mostly, and it just really inspired my old bones to come into an awareness of being with youth, and also that this is a time to really quench our souls, let go of what really troubles us, and come into the true source of our light and love. So come all you thirsty. Got this. And I'll give you water to drink. And come all you weary, I'll give you peace enough to sleep. Come on, you people, you oppressed and hurt, who lost your dignity and your value in this world. and eyes to see. Come beneath small ones, you shall inherit the throne. No more hiding or being looked down on. Come on, you liars, I will give you the truth. Oh, there's no more death sentence, for I am born in you. Listen, you who have ears to hear, who have feet to walk, who have eyes to see. Listen, you who look down upon, who cried all last night to survive this war. Come to me, come to me, come to me, and I will carry you. And so Annabelle is going to come up.
Hello, everyone. I have the pleasure of introducing Mendhi Audlin, and I'll read you a little bit about her. She is the founder of the What If Up Club, a nonprofit organization on a mission to elevate humanity by spreading hope, building connection, and inspiring positive change. Mendhi is the author of the wildly popular book, What If It All Goes Right? Creating a new world of peace, prosperity, and possibility. She has spoken to audiences around the world about the power of positive thinking and works with individuals, organizations, and youth groups to bring good ideas to life. Mendhi is a licensed Unity teacher, former spiritual leader, and founder of the Unity Online Radio Network. She lives in the Adirondack Mountains of New York with her husband, her teenage daughter, and their 2 rescue mutts. And she has a website if you want to learn more about her. It's mendhialdin.com. So let's welcome Mendhi.
Thank you, friends. It is so great to be here with you. I know some of you from your spirit groups, so I think I've hung out in your living room maybe a few times for some of you. It's wonderful to be here. This is one of my favorite Sundays of the year, the Sunday between Christmas and New Year's. It's a week that has so much power and so much potential. So to prepare us for this in-between time, I wanted to share with you a study, and this is a study that goes back to 1930. It was led by a Harvard professor named Arlie Bach. And what he wanted to study was he wanted to find out what made for a happy, successful life. So when we're saying Happy New Year, everybody, what is that prayer? What is that blessing? What is that wish that we are wishing upon each other? What makes for happiness? And that is what he set out to study. So he was at Harvard University, which was all men at the time, and he pulled together, so it was unheard of at the time, he pulled together a group of 268 young men that he believed were on a trajectory to have a healthy, happy, successful life. And his plan was to study them over the course of their lifetime to see what made for success. And so over the course of the year, every year, this group of men would come together and they would be poked and probed and asked questions. And there were psychologists and psychiatrists and, all these people doctors that would examine them so that they could see what happened over the course of the life. Well, after many years, Arlie Bach retired the study, and a new scientist, a new professor came in named George Vaillant. And in 1967, George Vaillant takes over this study, fully expecting to find 268 success stories. But that is not what he found. He did find a few success stories. There were some senators in the mix. There was even a president. John F. Kennedy was one of those men in the study. But overall, by the time these men hit 50 years old, he found that a third of them had actually suffered some sort of mental illness, and a significant percentage had become alcoholics. Now, at the same time, there was another study being done. This study being done in inner city Boston with children who were mostly children of immigrants, and their lives were studied in a similar way over 70 years. And by bringing these studies together, they found some really interesting things that they hadn't quite expected. The first thing they found that was not a factor, they said having money, having a good start, did not guarantee happiness or success. And this study proved that to them. The second thing they found was that good luck did not guarantee happiness. That lottery ticket we're crossing our fingers for, it isn't necessarily going to guarantee a happy, successful life. They also found that there was no particular personality trait. There was no characteristic that if you had this trait, then you were more likely to be successful. So what is the real secret? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. And to reveal to you what the secret is that they found, I brought for you an illusion. And this is one you may have seen before. You ready for it? See that? Have you seen this before? So maybe when you look at this, maybe you see a vase. Raise your hand if you see a vase when you look at this, or if you're in the chat on Zoom. Let me know what you see. Do you see a vase, or do you see maybe two faces? Or maybe you see, I see hands going up on the two faces. Maybe you see both. So what does all of this mean? Well, we're going to go to a little quantum science. Werner Heisenberg is a well-known quantum scientist, and he is known for a principle called uncertainty principle. Now, what uncertainty principle says is essentially, if you were to look at, say, your hand, and you look at it under a microscope, you're going to see the cells. And if you look at the cells under a microscope, you're going to see atoms, and then you're going to see subatomic particles, and you can go smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. But eventually you reach a point where they find that what we're made of is mostly nothing. And so what uncertainty principle says is that essentially, there is no solid underlying thing. There is no, if you keep looking smaller and smaller, you won't find anything that is that thing. What he says is the thing that is actually real is the energy that binds the things together. That is actually what is real. It's what lives in the space between us, that maybe we can't see it, but it is there and it is real. So the question is, when we look at this illusion, do we see two faces? When we look at this world, do we see, here's me and here's you, and we're separate? Or when we look into the world, do we see a different reality? Do we see what lives in the space between us? We have a lot of polarization in our world, and whether it's there's a lot of us and them, and whenever there's good, there's bad. Whenever there's me, there's the other. There is a meditation from Esther Hicks, those of you who are familiar with the teachings of Abraham Hicks, where she says, I cannot be me without you. We need the other to define the reality that lives in the space between us. So as much as unity is an inner journey of reflection and meditation and managing our mindset and paying attention to our emotions, it is also something that allows us to create in community. And that is an equal part of our spiritual journey, because together we get to create and sculpt and mold the things that live in this space between us. So that's what we're going into in this fabulous week, the week in between Christmas and the New Year. So I brought with you some quotes that came from an Abraham Hicks meditation on relationships, and I have unitized them a little bit to turn them into affirmations. So as we move into this new year, the question is to ask ourselves, what have I put in the space between me and the people in my life, the people in my community, the people in those other places? What am I putting into the space between? And am I creating in that space the thing that I want to create? Or is there perhaps some healing to be done? So I'm going to share with you the affirmation, and I'm going to invite you to repeat it after me. And those of you that are watching at home, say it out loud so you can feel it vibrating through your body. And then we're just going to sink into each one of them to prepare as we get some clarity around what we've been putting into that space between. Are you ready? Yes, excited? Okay. I see you. I'm watching you. I see you. Okay, so here is the first one. So repeat after me. Sometimes it seems like other people have the power to negatively impact my experience. And this is where you get to pull your finger out and shake your finger. But that is never true. But that is never true. All right, take a deep breath in on that one. Sometimes it seems like other people have the power to negatively impact my experience, but that is never true. I had a dog once named Bella, and when she was a puppy, she was crazy. She would tear apart the house, and we tried so hard to find a consequence to her bad behavior that mattered to her. And it didn't matter what we did. We would say, oh, you ripped up, my daughter's Barbie, so you have to stay outside. And the dog would be like, great, I love it outside. Thank you so much. Dig up the yard, dig up the yard, dig up the yard. And so he'd say, no, you can't dig up the yard. You're going to be punished. We're going to put you in the bathroom while we're gone so that you don't tear apart the house. And the dog said, yes, there's soap in the bathroom. I can play with that. I can eat that. It's fantastic. And so we're like, no, you can't do that. And so we tried our serious face. That is very bad. We tried, withholding the love and affection. And the dog's just like, you know what, great. When you feel better, I'm just going to take a nap until you work that out. There was nothing we could do to negatively impact this dog's experience. So even though it was a trying time for us in terms of training our puppy, it was a great lesson to remind me that even though it might seem like other people have the power to negatively impact my experience, that is never true. Right, you got it. You got it. All right, deep breath in. We'll do the second one. Are you ready? Repeat after me. Sometimes it seems that their happiness depends on my response to them. Here it is again. But that is never true. That is never true. And sometimes we do that, don't we? We think that they will be happy if we do something for them. I think when I was a young mother and I had this little baby, I'm like, she's crying, I have to do something because that's my role as a mother. But then it doesn't stop. It's like, the kids grow up and I keep doing, handstands and somersaults. And what will it take to make you happy? And we think sometimes that other people's happiness depends on something that we have to do for them. But as you know, that is never true. Very good. You've got this. I think of the story of Jesus and the woman who says, if I just touch your hem, if I can just touch the hem of your garment, then I will be healed. And so she does, and she is. And Jesus says, remember, it wasn't that made you well. It was your faith. It was your faith that made you well. So that's for us to remember. Okay, so here's the third one. Are you ready? Deep breath in. Okay, it's a good one. Repeat after me. When others lash out at me, with words or actions, their battle is not with me. The battle is not with me, but with themselves. When others lash out at me in anger with words or actions, their battle is not with me, it is with themselves. Take a deep breath in on that one, just to remember that. Their battle is not with me, it is with themselves. I read a story about a woman whose son was killed by a teenage boy who was in the courtroom being sentenced. And she was so angry that in the courtroom, when she saw the eyes of this young man who had killed her son, she said, I will kill you. So angry. And the young man went to jail. He was in jail for a couple months when she came to visit him. She was his first visitor. And when she visited, she brought him cigarettes and books and something to read, like something to do. And she started visiting him. And when he was finally released from jail, she helped him get his first job once he was released from jail. And she said, while you're getting on your feet, you're going to need a place to stay. If you need to stay with me for a couple weeks, you can stay with me for a couple weeks. And those couple weeks turned into 8 months, 9 months. And she calls him in. She says, that day in the courtroom, do you remember that day when I said that I would kill you? And he's like, yeah. She said, I want you to know that the boy who killed my son died to me that day. So my son has died. That boy has died. And what's left is you. And I would like to adopt you to be my son. That's what's possible when we heal what lives in the space between us, when we transform that hate, that anger, that frustration, that victim mindset, when we transform it and feed compassion and empathy and love. It makes miracles happen. So that's what today is about. It's about coming home to who we are, cleaning up whatever might have accumulated in that space between us over the course of this challenging year. So here is one final affirmation. Repeat after me. When I release all concern, about how others feel about me, and focus only on how I feel about them, I will understand who I really am. And I will discover what true freedom really is. When I release all concern about how others feel about me and focus only on how I feel about them, I will understand who I really am, and I will discover what true freedom really is. So take a deep breath to breathe that into every cell of your body. You know, I think about in the final days of Jesus' ministry where he knew that he was going on to a different sphere and he was leaving these disciples behind, and he knew that their journey was going to be difficult. I think about that, especially in a year like this, where the year ahead, we've had some challenging years and it's not over yet. You know, I think about Jesus as he was talking to his disciples and he's like, the journey ahead of you is a challenging journey. And so he gave them some advice. And I want to share this quote. I have a couple quotes, but I want to share this one first. This is from Colossians chapter 3. As God's chosen ones, and I like to imagine that Jesus is the Christ within us is speaking this to our own hearts. As God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bear with one another. And if anyone has complaint against another, forgive each other, just as the Lord has forgiven you. So you must also forgive. Above all, he says, clothe yourself in love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. Clothe yourself. Feels good, doesn't it? Clothe yourself in love. I see it. You feel it. It feels good. It feels warm. It feels true. So we return to those 268 Harvard men. What did they find in that study? Well, they found a few things, but the number one thing they found that was the determinant of a happy, successful life. And you may guess it. Those of you on Zoom, I'm going to challenge you to post in the chat. What do you think it is? Have you thought about it? What is the thing they found that was that golden thread? One word sums it up. Altruism. Altruism was the thing that they found that was consistent among those who had happy, successful lives. That is the definition, a selfless concern for the well-being of others. A selfless concern for the well-being of others. It's what we put in the space between. You know, are we putting our fear? Are we putting that rejection, the pain? Are we putting anger into that space? Are we putting frustration into that space? Or are we putting appreciation? Are we putting love into, compassion, love? Woo, there's love. Love is just all over the place. It flutters all around. Love. Are we putting respect into the space between us? So this is a day to look at what we have created, what lives in that space between, and is there anything that we want to release? Is there anything that it's just time to let go? And so I want to share with you one final story that I think sums this up so beautifully. And this is about a man named Lawrence Anthony, who was, as a young man, he had a real estate business that was doing very well, but he decided he had this calling to move to Africa and to build a 5,000 acre wildlife preserve for elephants. And he had created this 5,000 acre preserve. He hadn't been there long. He gets a call. We've got this herd of elephants and they're crazy. They are like, they've been in other preserves. They bust their way out. They're mean. They don't want to be here. They don't like us. They're scary. They're dangerous. And he said, I'll take them. So he goes out, rounds up these elephants, brings them into his preserve, and immediately they bust through all of his electric fences. They tear the place apart. They escape. He goes up. He rounds them up again. He brings them back. They're madder than ever. And so he decides he needs to do things differently. He can't do what everyone else has done. And so he decides he's going to live with them. He feeds them. He talks to them. He spends time with them, and he actually builds a relationship with this herd. He risks his life to build a relationship so that they trust him and they know him and they know that he is there to help them. And there comes a point where the matriarch of the herd, she has a baby and she presents the baby to him, just like family. And when he has a grandson, he brings his baby grandson to the herd to present his newborn to this family that he has created with this herd of elephants. And the last couple of years of his life, he put the herds, he had 2 herds, and he kept them further away from his home because it was becoming dangerous for poachers and things like that, for the elephants to be too close to him. He passed away in March of 2012. And when he passed away, something amazing happened. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see some photographs that were shared by his family. So I'm sharing here, this is a photo of the elephant whisperer. And this is the photograph that his family took at his memorial service. Because after he died, within days of his death, from 2 different directions, in single file, the elephants silently marched to his hut where he had lived, where his family was. They spent 2 days honoring him with his family, and then they turned around, single file, in a processional, and they went back to the space that he had created for them, that safe space. And the question as I see that is, how did they know? How did they know that their friend had made that transition? What if what's real is not what we see, but it's what we create in the space between us? What if what we feel about and towards each other is the only thing that is really real? And so this is a time to release and let go. So affirm with me, repeat after me, and put your hand on your heart if it helps you to access that space of your truth. I bring love to the space between us. I bring love to the space between us. I bring compassion to the space between us. I bring compassion to the space between us. I bring forgiveness to the space between us. I bring forgiveness to the space between us. I bring appreciation to the space between us. I bring appreciation to the space between us. Breathe it in. Deep breath in. And so it is. And a happy new year. Thank you.
Okay. So now we go into a time of meditation, and as we do, we'll start with a chant. Please think of those things you want to release so that you can come into the light of this time of the new year free. So think of words, you have your paper, and if you don't have a pen, does anyone not have a pen? So Jim needs a pen. Write down those things that you would like to release, and in meditation, and when you're ready, there is a melting bowl up front. You can drop them in and they will dissolve away. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. I am free in the Spirit, and I'm only here for God. No more trouble, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit.
So I invite you to take a deep breath in as we go into meditation together. And as you center yourself in your heart, feeling that space of openness, that space of truth, bring to mind the words of Jesus as he prepared his disciples for their journey. He said, "They who have my commandments and keep them are those who love me." And those commandments are simply to love. Love God, love each other. Those who keep my commandments and keep those who keep them are the ones who love me. And those who love me will be loved by my Father. And I will love them and I will reveal myself in them. He said, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Do not let them be afraid. Rise, let us be on our way." And so this beautiful morning, we allow ourselves to release anything that we have put in between a relationship with others, a relationship with ourselves. What is it that is yours to let go of? And for those of you at home, I use a piece of toilet paper and we can flush it away. Let it go. Let it dissolve away. And as you do, feel the freedom of knowing who you truly are. Feel the freedom of aligning yourself with the power and presence that is love. Feel the freedom that is who you are. We take this precious sacred moment in the silence to release, to let go, and to breathe into, to remember and to know and to embrace who we truly are as beings of light and beings of love. And so it is. Happy New Year.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit, and I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. And we're so grateful. We release and let go, and the roiling, God has troubled the waters and roiled all of our troubles away, and so it is. And if there's anyone that you're thinking of that may be facing a health challenge or any kind of separation, let's just softly say their names and put them into the light of God. Think of Christine and Malpika and her family, Luke and Lucian, having some health challenges. Lisa Plumley and Lisa Alonzi. Tom Paolini and his family. And so it is. So now it is the time in our services that the bell has rung. And it's time for us to gather our tithes and offerings into our hands or hearts if we have already given through Venmo. But please hold that gift. We appreciate all gifts that are given. You can give online through Venmo and PayPal. Can we do on PayPal? And PayPal. There's a text to give number that's right on the web. So we say the blessing of our tithes and offerings, for the more we give, the more we receive. So divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I got everything that I need to be happy. I got food, I got friends, I got my community. Yeah, I got the snow in the morning and the sweet blue sky. I got my heart beating songs and singing my, oh my. I got everything that I need to be happy. Oh, I got nothing if I don't have myself. And if I'm not grateful for all God's graces, what good is money? What good is wealth? I got everything that I need to be happy. I got love, I got laughter, I got what's left of my sanity, and I got all my snow ugly pajamas, and I got all the Elvis choir and band in my ear, and I got all of you out there, and Mendhi, and all those incredibly inspired thoughts. I got everything that I need. I got everything that I need. I got everything that I need to be happy. Do, 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 do I. So it is. So we bless these tithes and offerings. We're so grateful as they go out into the world to do the mighty work of helping and healing and giving hope and inspiration. We thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, God. And so we have announcements, I believe. Do we have any announcements?
Yeah, we have some.
You look lovely today.
Why, thank you. I completely forgot the memo about pajama day. But
Well, you
let's
look
pretend I
comfy.
sleep in this. I mean, sometimes, right? You're not out of pajamas, but
You can wear them next week.
yeah, this is true. But yeah, we do have one more Holiday Hiccups meeting before the new year, and that will be on the 29th, right?
One more holiday hiccups for anyone who's having troubles or wants to connect, feeling a little separate, or even just want to bring your joys and yourself for a beautiful conversation. It's Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on Zoom, right on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we will be giving some updates about what will be happening next year. Shipley was going to be the speaker for the first part of January, but unfortunately, some of you probably heard, she had an accident falling off her horse, and she has been in recovery, and so we're just kind of sending our energy out to her and trying to figure out what we're going to do in January. And we have
a plan.
We have many other people who are going to help us, Jackie Woodside and Stephanie Roy, I believe.
Actually, it's Martine Bernard.
Martine Bernard.
Yes.
And you heard them all really recently, and they are both wonderful, and we're finding some more amazing people, and so just keep your eyes open for what we're going to be doing come next year. And
Let's just take a moment now and just send some love and healing energy to Shipley. Oh, Shipley, we love you and we honor you. We see you whole and healed, and your ankle strong and your hip strong. And we love you. Let's just all say that. We love you. We love you, Shipley. Bless you. So, now we have the big song, because somebody got bornded yesterday, right?
Oh, they did. They sure did. So anyway, thanks to the brave souls who came out here today. I really do appreciate it. We had a couple inches of snow out here. I was jealous. I was in Danvers. We didn't have anything. I happen to like snow. And now, I was beginning to think it was because I was bad that I didn't get presents. I realized Santa just couldn't get any traction, that's all. Danvers had no snow. So anyway, Merry Christmas, and to the Unity family out there, a blessed New Year. Hopefully everything that you're learning to let go or trying to let go this year, that you actually lay down. Don't carry it forward. So we're going to do Go Tell It on a Mountain. A countrified version, if that's okay.
Bruce Coburn in the arrangement of Bruce.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Jesus Christ is born. Shepherds kept their watching, or silent fox by night. Behold, throughout the heavens, Lord, there shone a holy light. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. The shepherds, they feared and trembled when low above the earth rang out the angel chorus, Lord, that hailed the Savior's birth. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Down in a lonely manger, the humble Christ was born. And God sent out salvation, yeah, on that blessed Christmas morn. Oh yeah, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Well, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. That Jesus Christ is born. Hey, that Jesus Christ is born. Thank you.
Well, and now it is time to sing our peace song. So join energetically and with all the hands all around the world, let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed. You want to? Okay, go tell it on the mountain.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. The shepherds kept their watches, or silent flocks by night. And behold, throughout those heavens, Lord, there shone a holy light. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. That Jesus Christ is born. That Jesus Christ is born. That Jesus Christ is born.
And so it is. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.